So let's apply the All About the Base look. I already have on mascara and Stay Put Waterproof Gel Brow Balm. I've already applied my moisturizer and eye cream, and now I'm going to start with our Velvet Veil Soothing Smoothing Primer. This is your transitional product from skincare into makeup. I'm going to take about the size of a pea. I'm going to rub it between these 8 fingers over here, and I'm just going to blend it gently onto my face. Velvet Veil Soothing Smoothing Primer fills in little fine dried lines, reduces the visibility of enlarged pores, and really just makes the Mommy's Little Helper Concealer and Mineral Dual Powder go on better, stay on better, and look smoother. So now my face is completely ready for our Mommy's Little Helper Concealer. The next product that comes with All About the Base is our Mommy's Little Helper Concealer. This is our eyeshadow base, under eye concealer, and face cover up all in one. Your All About the Base also comes with our camouflage concealer brush. I've already put the camouflage concealer brush into the Mommy's Little Helper Concealer, and now I'm going to apply it to my face. I like to start with my under eye area first, because I like to let the Mommy's Little Helper Concealer sit there and it kind of becomes like one with the skin while I do the rest of my face. So I just applied it to my inner corner and about halfway under my eye. And I always say that nobody has a circle out here, so you really don't need concealer out here. All concealer does when it's out here is settle into those little smile lines. And everybody likes to smile, so just don't put your concealer there. Put it where you have darkness, which is the inner corner and just about halfway. Now I'm going to let that sit there for a second. I'm going to talk about some other things that come with All About the Base. You get our teardrop blender sponge, which we have an entirely separate video on how to use the teardrop blender sponge. You also get the paddle blender brush, which I will be using in this video. Now with the teardrop blender sponge, this product with the Velvet Veil creates an entirely different level of coverage for your concealer. It basically takes our Mommy's Little Helper Concealer and turns it into a full complete coverage foundation. And again, watch the other video for that. You could also do the paddle blender brush, which I'll use here, where I spot conceal and then blend it in. But before I use the paddle blender, I'm going to go back to our Mommy's Little Helper Concealer with the camouflage concealer brush, and I'm going to continue to spot conceal. I'm going to put a little in the corner of my nose and the corner of my mouth. Your own features actually create little shadows there, so I like to put the Mommy's Little Helper Concealer in these 2 places because I find it softens the shadows. This is an old theater trick that I kind of have adapted for every day. And now I'm going to just spot conceal. And what I mean by spot conceal, I just like to put the Mommy's Little Helper Concealer concentrated in places where I want more coverage. I have these little dark spots from being in the sun too much without burning my skin when I was little, and then you get older and they crop up. So I like to minimize the look of them. They're still part of my face, but I like to just make them not quite as visible. And from day to day, it may vary, depending on what my skin is doing, how much spot concealing I do. Okay, spot concealing is complete. Now I'm going to use the paddle blender brush to do what I call tap and blur the Mommy's Little Helper Concealer into the rest of my face. So this is what I like to call tap and blur. I'm tapping and I'm kind of just blurring the edges out so that they become part of the rest of my face. But what I love about this brush is with the tap and blur, where I've concentrated most of the Mommy's Little Helper Concealer, it can stay there and do its job, and the paddle blender brush just kind of blurs out the edges of where I put the Mommy's Little Helper Concealer. I like to do the eyes last because I like to let the Mommy's Little Helper Concealer kind of sit there and become one with the skin more in that delicate eye area. And so now I'm just continuing to tap and blur. Again, the paddle blender brush is also made of premium synthetic vegan bristles, and it was a very needed brush in the Mommy Makeup product line because this brush really maximizes the efficiency of our Mommy's Little Helper concealer. Okay, so now I'm going to get my eyes and I'm going to see just the edges only of where I put the concealer, and I'm kind of doing a little bit of stroking very delicately and smudging in the eye area to soften that edge. And then I'm going to go down here below and continue to tap and blur. And just a little more tap and blur. Very gently because the eye area is very delicate. So now I've tapped and blurred. Now I'm going to use our mineral jewel powder, which is also included in your All About the Base, and our Little Lush Kabuki brush, also included in All About the Base. I'm going to swirl it and I'm going to press it into my skin. Now because I have the Velvet Veil Soothing Smoothing Primer on, when I put the mineral jewel powder on, it gives it longer wearability. And you can put powder under the eyes. The mineral jewel powder is talc-free, so it will not dry out your eye area and it will not scratch that delicate skin in the eye area. It will hold the Mommy's Little Helper concealer in place and prevent it from creasing. Okay, so there you go. This is our All About the Base look. All About the Base by Mommy Makeup, the best beauty for busy women.